The 2015 Pokemon World Champion Shoma ended up using a team created by a viewer that was submitted, and it featured Riolu, and it was actually able to perform quite a bit of work in that video. So we're going to be trying out Riolu ourselves and seeing how well it can perform. This is a team that relies on the move Coaching, which is a move that gives a +1 attack and defense to your ally, and that can make the ally just be able to tank physical hits and dish out a ton of damage, especially with the 2 restrictions that we're using. Let's break it down. First up, we have the start of the show, the Focus Sash Riolu, so it can take 1 hit with the Prankster ability that is giving a +1 priority to any non-attacking moves, with the Ghost Terra type to help out against Fake Out and Extreme Speed, with Close Combat, Coaching, Feint, and Quick Guard. Yeah, it's an interesting support Pokemon. We've actually used Riolu on the channel before, way back in the day of like 2015, when Riolu was an interesting mon with the option for Follow Me. Unfortunately, it doesn't get Follow Me in this generation, but Coaching is a cool move that it does get access to, with giving its ally a +1 attack and defense, which is what this team is basically conceptualized of. We have the Coaching to give the Calyx Ice Rider and the Koraidon the boost. You have the Close Combat because you might as well give it a pretty strong attack. The Calyx Ice Rider doesn't exactly like dealing with Incineroar, and Close Combat can do some pretty good damage into it, including like Terapagos and more. The Feint option, which is able to play around the Wide Guards and protects, which is very nice. And then Quick Guard, and because you have Prankster, the Quick Guard gets 1 more priority, so you always guarantee to block any Fake Out, even if the Fake Out user is faster than Riolu, which is a really neat concept. With otherwise, the EV spread, its stats aren't that great. It's Focus Sash. You just go max attack and max speed with the Animate Nature, so you can power up the Close Combats. But really, this Riolu is going for the Coachings, Feints, and Quick Guards mainly to support the rest of the team. Next Pokemon we have is the Choice Scarf Annihilate with the Define ability, giving it a +2 attack raise if one of its stats is lowered by the opponent, with the Terra Normal type to help out against the Ghost type moves like the Astral Barrage and the Moongeist Beam. With Close Combat, Shadow Claw, Coaching, Final Gambit. Yep, might as well have a secondary factor in having the Coaching because it's a consistent way. It's able to help out scare away Incineroar from leading because of the fact that you want your Choice Band Koraidon to do as much damage as possible without having to worry about Intimidate. The Defying from Annihilate can be scary, as well as that Choice Scarf Final Gambit option, which is really strong because if you do trade for a Pokemon, it can be a pretty good lead, especially if you get more tools to utilize with your Calyx Ice Rider and Koraidon with less resources on their side because you're setting up the Coaching with Riolu. Otherwise, Shadow Claw, of course, it's able to actually one-shot a Calyx Shadow Rider if they have no bulk, which you could run Rage Fist, but Shadow Claw for the more initial damage is more important since you aren't really going for a Rage Fist strategy with a Choice Scarf Annihilate. And then the Final Gambit trait is immense here. With max HP, because of the Final Gambit trade, you want to be able to knock out like all the restricteds like max HP Miraidon, Koraidon, and more, and then the max speed Jolly Nature to be able to try to outspeed like all the modest Chiyus out there, and to also outspeed the other base 90s that are Choice Scarf as well. Next Pokemon we have is the Calyx Ice Rider with the Clear Amulet that is preventing its stats from being dropped as 1-foot ability with the Fairy Terror type, a good defensive typing. It's just solid across the board, especially into the Dark Urshifu Wicked Blows, and it's a pretty good neutral typing around while resisting the body press from the Zamazenta. The Glacial Lance, high horsepower, really strong coverage options with the Spread Ice type move, the ground type coverage, Trick Room for the speed control, protect to keep itself around with the EV spread of max HP, 116 attack, 4 defense, 92 special defense, and 44 speed with an Animate Nature. It's just a bit of a faster Calyx Ice Rider in case you are finding one in the mirror, but it does still have enough HP and special defense to be able to tank on hits, especially like that Choice Specs Miraidon Electro Drift that can do a ton of damage. A lot of attack, but not too much, because 160 Animate Nature gives an extra stat point, but you do get the boost from the Coaching, so you don't really need to invest nearly as much into attack and defense, which is why you decide to opt for a bit of speed and special defense instead. Across the board, Calyx Ice Rider, absolutely absurd tanky mon. It just has incredible bulk. It'll dish out a ton of damage, especially with those Glacial Lances. And with that Coaching boost, it really makes Calyx Ice Rider a monster that is unable to be stopped in a lot of scenarios, and it's just able to blast routines with the Glacial Lance and high horsepower. Just really hard to stop under Coaching boost if your opponent doesn't have strong special attackers. Next Pokemon we have is the Choice Band Koraidon with its ability to get an attack boost under the sun while summoning it as well, with the Fire Terror type alongside Flare Blitz, Close Combat, U-Turn, and Outrage. Choice Band Koraidon. Now, you can't have two clear animates, unfortunately, but Koraidon with Choice Band under the sun thanks to its ability alongside a coaching boost. I don't think there's a mon that could really be able to tank that attack, so it's able to dish out a lot of damage initially, and then after another coaching boost, it really is just able to wreak havoc. And the coverage that it gets, the Flare Blitz, Close Combat, really strong attacks in general, U-Turn to be able to pivot and scout and maybe force a tear on their side so you can identify it and then set up for a good position. And then Outrage, because you might as well have dragon coverage if you have the access to it, because it's still the same type of attack bonus, really strong, and especially after coaching boost in the sun will do a ton of damage. Simple EV spread, max attack, max speed, and pretty much just trying to at least speed tie with any max speed base 135s. And if you are facing an opponent that doesn't have max speed, you just outspeed. You really wreak havoc with that Choice Band and the boost from its ability. It's just such a strong wall breaker. Next Pokemon we have is the Assault Vest Raging Bolt with the Photosynthesis ability, giving it a special attack booster while the sunlight is up, with the Dark Terror type to be able to help out against the Calyx Shadow Rider, especially resisting those Astral Barrages and immune to the Psychic type attacks. The Thunderbolt, Dragon Pulse, Snarl, and Thunderclap. Across the board, this Raging Bolt is able to help out quite a bit, especially into Rain Dance Tornaz plus Urshifu or Rain Dance plus Kyogre, because otherwise the team doesn't really have the strongest suits for dealing with really powerful water type moves in the rain especially. So you kind of need a mon that's able to deal well into both the Tornadus, which is the rain setter, and the water type itself. And this Raging Bolt is able to slow down the pace with Snarl for the Kyogre unit they Terra Grass, as well as threaten them with Thunderclap and Thunderbolt especially. The Dragon Pulse is also able to have nice coverage, and of course a resist to Miraidon attacks is also a bonus on this team. And why not have Raging Bolt Koraidon, which is always a strong pair, especially with the Photosynthesis. It's able to do quite a bit of damage. For the EV spread, it is just supposed to be able to tank hits with the max HP, 68 in defense alongside 20 special defense. It's able to tank attacks pretty well. A little bit of investment to special attacks, so the Thunderbolts and Thunderclaps are still doing a good amount of damage, and then running a bit of speed just to be able to speed creep some Pokemon like No Speed Rillaboom, for instance. That's pretty much it. It's really just supposed to be able to take hits, do a decent amount of damage back, especially against the Tornaz and the water types, as I said. And that's pretty much what this Raging Bolt is supposed to accomplish. Final Pokemon on this team is the Eviolite Clefairy with the Friend Guard ability that does reduce the damage that your allies do take, with the Ground Terror type, mainly to help out against the electric moves, especially Thunder Wave from Grimmsnarl and the Miraidon's attack, so it can't really Volt Switch around safely. It has Follow Me, Encore, Helping and Protect. It's just a great support Pokemon, especially with a boost to Calyx Ice Rider. You could do stuff like lead Riolu, go for the coaching boost onto your Cali Ice or Koraidon, and then with the Friend Guard Clefairy helping to cover for its special defense weakness, where they're not boosted, you could be able to reduce the damage that it takes from special attacks, and it is really hard to stop. The Follow Me, of course, is really nice for redirection. Encore is a great move because it can help out in the Trick Room matchup against opposing Trick Room that could be threatening to Cali Ice, but also against setup moves, because if your opponent is trying to set up to be able to take the knockout into the Cali Ice that is boosted from the coaching, you could go for that Encore, for instance, and then they're locked into that attack. Then the Cali Ice can fire off its damage and really threaten them that way. Like you can Encore Calyx Shadow Rider that might not expect it into Nasty Plot, and it would be very disruptive. Helping Hand to increase the power if necessary, and Protect to keep itself around. The EV spread is just a max HP, 180 defense with a relaxed nature, and then 76 special defense, going with a min speed because again you can Encore base 50s and the slow ones like an Iron Hands and a Fake Out. You could go for an Encore into Pokemon under Trick Room that just went for the Trick Room, like opposing Trick Room, like opposing Cali Ice that way. There are quite a few things that Encore can just disrupt immensely, and this Clefairy able to support the team with its Friend Guard, Redirection, Helping Hand by shutting down and disrupting any setup. So how to use the team? Overall, it is just setting up with the coaching. As I said before, you have two coaching users in Annihilate Riolu. You could go for final Gambit trades with the Annihilate. Annihilate can lead very comfortably with Calx Ice Rider. It can lead very comfortably with Koraidon. You can even go with like Riolu plus Annihilate. You could go for coaching into the Annihilate, or you could even go for something like a quick guard, so Annihilate can always get a trade with Final Gambit, and then bring in your restricted, go for the coaching with Riolu and the Calyrex Koraidon after you trade it. So there are a lot of ways there. You have the Clefairy mode. Clefairy plus Calyrex Ice Rider is also pretty strong. Of course, you have the Koraidon Raging Bolt, a really strong Sun mode. You could lead both restricted if you need to. You just have quite a few different options with this team, but the main goal is to set up for really strong damage with either the coaching Calx Ice Rider or the Koraidon just dishing out crazy amounts of damage with the choice band and its ability. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the original video that this was showcased, because this was showcased by the 2015 World Champion, and his YouTube video will be linked down below description. And let me know in the comments down below, have you played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon? And if you did, what was the Pokemon that you were assigned to? Because when I think of Riolu, I think about 2015, and I think about also Mystery Dungeon as well, because Riolu was one of the characters they added to Explorers of Sky, and I really do love Explorers of Sky and Time Darkness, and I've actually been listening to the soundtrack actually quite recently. So let me know if you have played those games, and let me know what Pokemon you were when you played those games. But let's start and play some games with this Riolu team. Tinkaton Giratina Origin Form. That is Lunala, Urshifu, Xianpao, Torterra. What a wild combination for my opponent is all I'll say. Okay, how do I want to match this one? Because Torterra is actually kind of annoying, because if this is wide guard, it's going to wall out my Cali Ice. I think I want to bring the Annihilate in this match. I don't want to bring Annihilate in this match. That means I have no Clef. But no Clef, I guess, is fine here. Yeah, it's not necessary. I think I bring Annihilate plus the... Do I just lead Koraidon immediately and threaten as much damage as I possibly can? I feel like I'd rather lead Riolu plus Annihilate, because I threaten like faint stuff. Because like I could KO the POW turn one with faint close combat if I wanted to. I think I would rather have Calyrex as a switch and Koraidon back. I think this is better, but we'll see. It's such a strange one here. It's such a strange one. Let's see how this is going to perform, because I have no clue how this is going to go. We're going to see the combination of Lunala plus Giratina. They let both ghost types. All right. I really wanted to Terra my Cali Ice, but this matchup might require a little bit of a different approach. I think I'm going to go for Terra Normal Shadow Claw into the Lunala. And I think I'm going to go for coaching. Because right now I'm pinned with the ghost types. So let's get rid of my ghost typing. Because if I do anything else, I'm taking a bunch of ghost moves, which I don't appreciate. So I might as well just get out of that typing. We're going to go for coaching Shadow Claw and get some damage. We are going to see one of the Pokemon Terra, which makes sense, probably Lunala, but I mean, breaking the Shadow Shield is still really important to me. Yeah, they go for Terra Water, which is fine, because now Koraidon Close Combat is going to threaten a ton of damage, so I'm okay with this. We get the defense boost with our Annihilate, which is actually kind of massive. And here is a Shadow Claw, which does some chip. It's not that much damage, but it's chip. Moongeist Beam into the Annihilate. Is this Poltergeist as well? Yep. Poltergeist. Oh, it targets my Riolu. Okay, that's fine still. I mean, I'm still going to threaten the Shadow Claw and the coaching. I don't see a reason not to. The Lunala is now really vulnerable to my close combat in the later parts of the game. I need to damage the Giratina, because even though +2 Shadow Claw won't KO, it will still threaten a good amount of damage into whatever is in the back. So I think that's 100% worth it. And also we do want to threaten it because it is the Pokemon that probably switches in the best against my Koraidon, because close combat, they do not have a switch. And it looks like they're giving me the damage in the Giratina, which is really nice. So I will go for the coaching here. and a Shadow Claw, so now I'm +2. Here comes Shadow Sneak into the Riolu, but that's fine. Riolu has done the work of setting up my Annihilate for the best chance of succeeding here. As we go for the Shadow Claw. Good damage. Really good damage. Meteor Beam. Okay, so it's Power Herb. I'm curious if this has Protect, Trick Room, or Wide Guard. Like, what are the 2 out of 3 moves they have remaining? We should definitely live 1 Meteor Beam. Annihilate's so bulky. Yeah, with ease. All right, we go Caradon. I guess the only problem is POW endgame is going to look a little bit rough, but I think in general, we're not in a terrible spot because we threaten 2 possible knockouts right now. We're going to go for not Final Gambit. We're going to go for Shadow Claw. We're going to go for Close Combat. I could go for Outrage too if I really want to, but they don't have a switch to Close Combat and they already tear it, so I don't have to worry about like Terra, Shein Power or something. The Giratina protects. Does this double protect the Scout? Oh, okay. They're keeping the Giratina around. I wonder if they're just trying to bring in the Shein Pow next turn for Sucker Punch into the Ape, which probably KOs. Endgame will be a bit tricky, but still very manageable. All right, goodbye Lunala. Lunala got destroyed. Who do I want to bring? Who do I want to see next? It's probably Pow coming in. I can't really see what else comes in other than Pow. I guess if they have Scarf Ursh, they could. Yeah, Pow comes in. This is always Sucker Punch in the Ape, but I have +2 defense. That's the thing. I have +2 defense on the Ape, so I definitely live in attack. Can I just Shadow Claw Close Combat? Is there anything that really stops me here from doing that? I feel like the answer is no. I think I'm just going to double up the POW. Sucker Punch. But I do have the defense boost, which is why I wasn't worried about it. Shadow Claw going to come out into the POW, and then we take the knock on the POW. I guess I could have Shadow Clawed the Giratina and Close Combat at the POW, but I thought they also remembered that I had the coaching boost, so I was a bit shocked by them leaving it in, but this is pretty good for me. As they go for Draco Meteor, okay. I mean, Caradon goes down, which was my biggest offensive piece here, but right now I'm trying to figure out what the last Pokemon is, because if it's Tinkaton, I get to go for Glacials, right? What is that? Torterra? That's Tinkaton. I gotta really think about this turn carefully, because there's Fake Out Mind Games, there's Faint Mind Games, there's so much that could go wrong. So the Fake Out play makes sense. Annihilate should live the turn. Ah, this is really close. Here's the thing. Do you Fake Out the Annihilate or not? Or do you protect Giratina and go for Gigaton Hammer to KO the Annihilate? It's just a mind game between, do they protect the Giratina or do they Fake Out attack? Because I could double up into Giratina, but if they protect, I lose. So it's a mind game here, unfortunately. I think I'm going to commit to doubling the Tinkaton. They Fake Out the Ape. Wait, no, this is still fine. Go for Poltergeist. I should live 1 with Giratina. Or with Calyrex, yep. My horsepower comes out. It's not Rocky Helmet, so I think I'm good to Shadow Claw the Tinkaton, because they're usually Assault Vest and don't have Protect. And then I go for Glacial. Because I can't Protect, because if I go for Protect, that's a throw. If they KO the other Mon. So, yeah. All right, I did get the mind game technically wrong, but at the same time, this works because I got the high horsepower damage in Tinkaton. So now both Pokemon are just in range of Shadow Claw, and I always Shadow Claw the Tinkaton because a lot of the Tinkatons I imagine are usually like Tinkaton having Protect is like the least likely move, I think, because they're usually Assault Vest if they run Tinkaton, which means they don't have Protect. The coaching boost were so clutch. They go for the feints. They're hoping for the crit. The Annihilate does not get crit as they Shadow Sneak the Kali Ice. Kali Ice goes down, but I Shadow Clawed the Tinkaton because now they don't get a second chance to go for the feint and knock out my Annihilate. And since I'm a Terra normal type, I don't have to worry about Shadow Sneak, and now Shadow Claw finishes off the Giratina. Okay, I think I gave myself the best odds. No, that lead was kind of rough. I was able to put myself, because I knew Giratina wasn't super big threatening to my Annihilate, so I could target the stuff around it. But yeah, it could have gotten a little bit tricky. But thankfully, we did not have to worry about that as we put on enough offensive pressure to just seal up the win here. Whew, okay. Those coaching boosts were massive. And who would have thought Scarf 8 was the one who's going to stick around the longest on the field? But it did. It absolutely did. Miraidon, Lunala, Urshifu, Landorus Incarnate, the Ursaluna, and Incineroar. Okay, looks like kind of a mix between the first two regional teams that won. All right, how do I want to perform against this? I do like... So how do I want to approach this one? Annihilape's actually a really good lead. They do not have the best answers to Annihilape. I wouldn't mind leading Annihilape either. It's pretty good into a lot of my opponent's combo. Like, Annihilape plus Koraidon's a really strong lead here, actually. And I think I will try it. I kind of want to bring Clefairy, but at the same time, I don't need it because Riolu plus the Kali Ice is also a really good combination. I think as long as I can get rid of the Miraidon, I'm in a really good spot here. So that's what I'm going to try out and see how well it can perform. I like threatening with the Annihilate bleed because it pressures the Incineroar. And guess what? They let Incineroar, so that's beautiful. Against my Koraidon and my Annihilate. So really, really nice here. We are going to be able to get the Defiant active, which is massive here. And I guess the question is, what do I want to do with Annihilate? Because I have a few different possibilities that could open up here. I could go for the Shadow Claw immediately. I could go for a coaching. I could go for a close combat. They're all not bad options. I think I'm just going to go with a... I could Final Gambit if I read the Lunala to Terra. I think I'm just going to throw off a Shadow Claw, though, into Lunala. And I think I'm going to Flare Blitz to Lunala as well. Or would I prefer U-turning? I might prefer U-turning here. Actually, no, I would Flare Blitz. Because I expect Fake Out to go out into my Rhydon. They do go for the Terra, so I could have went for the final... Oh, they Terra the Incineroar. In the Ghost typing. Wait, that works out really well for me. Okay, so I'm going to get a Shadow Claw plus a Flare Blitz. Oh, they went for Fake Out. Interesting. Okay. I'm surprised. Okay. I'm surprised you Fake Out the Koraidon if you're going to go for that play, but that works out. I'm glad I didn't Final Gambit reading a Terra and Lunala. A Trick Room comes out, but I don't think that's too bad here. No, I don't think that's too bad. Do I want to Terra one of these Pokemon here? Probably go for... I'm trying to think. I don't really need these Pokemon anymore. I got the damage on Lunala. I think I'm just going to go for a Shadow Claw on a Lunala. Actually, I'd rather Shadow Claw... I think the play is to Shadow Claw one of these Pokemon. I think it's Shadow Claw the Incineroar, actually. And you turn out the Lunala. And I think that's fine. I want to get my free switch into the Calyx Ice Rider because it can drive under the Trick Room. We're going to see a Will-O-Wisp there into Koraidon. And a Moongeist Beam. Okay, Moongeist Beam should KO Annihilate. I'd imagine. I'd be shocked if I survived. I could have went for... Oh my goodness, I live because max HP is goated. Okay, we get a U-turn off into Lunala, which is perfect. I put in range of high horsepower potentially, but we are going to go out into our Kali Ice. We threaten the as one, and yeah, this is looking like a good spot because Shadow Claw. I hope this is Rocky Helmet instant because I get the good free switch here. Nice. Okay, perfect. Exactly. Nice. Incredible. All right, we get a free switch here into our Riolu, and we can actually go for quite a few different plays. I'm gonna go for coaching here with my Riolu, and I'm gonna go for a high horsepower into the Lunala slot. I should Terra Fairy here. Do I need to Terra Fairy? I don't think this is a Wisp Instant. Should definitely be knockoff on the Incineroar if it's Wisp. Yeah. I think I'm just gonna high horsepower Lunala and coaching. They probably wide guard here. Ooh, they didn't. Okay, they got me. I could have went for a Glacial and got the KO on both. But I guess they were like, okay, I'm gonna Trick Room and I'm gonna go for a Wisp. Oh, they went for Parting Shot. It's Riolu. Oh, that is not what you want to see. That's not what you want to see. All right, Incineroar gonna swap out here into Miraidon. I'd assume. Actually, would you go Well, Ursaluna doesn't matter because I got my coaching boost on my Cali Ice, so I'm fine here. We're gonna see the Ursaluna come in, which makes sense. I do get the high horsepower off into Lunala. Actually, like all of the Mons just fainted to Glacial probably in the back. So Ursaluna's the last. They're gonna get the Flame Orb. I'm gonna get intimidated from the instant. No, I'm not, because I have clear amulet, which is fantastic here. And we can go for quick guard with Riolu to stop the fake out from affecting the Cali Ice, because Prankster quick guard means we're guaranteed to get the quick guard off before. And because of the coaching boost, we definitely live a facade from Ursaluna. So all I have to do is go for a quick guard to stop the fake out, and we go for a Glacial. I think I go for the Terra Fairy too in case of the speed order, because we saw the Incineroar outspeed my Cali Ice. So in case they go for a facade knockoff, I think my best play is to go for the Terra Fairy here and a quick guard. So we bring out the Terra Fairy in case they do go for a knockoff read, but we'll see. All right, quick guard stopping a fake out from Incineroar. They went for the fake out. They went for fake out into my Cali Ice. Yep, perfect. Was the Ursaluna clicking? Probably facade. Also double up, or are they targeting down? They targeted the Riolu because they were covering for a protect from the Cali Ice. But that would have allowed coaching. I could have went for coaching protect and also been in a dominant spot. But Glacial Land's gonna come out into the Incineroar and the Ursaluna. Goodbye Incineroar. Goodbye Ursaluna. And I think we guarantee the game, because even if the Miraidon on this team for some reason is deciding to have protect on it, which it probably shouldn't, it's probably Assault Vest or Choice Specs, one of the two most likely. I do have the feint I can go for with Riolu on this build, so I can go for the feint into the Miraidon and get that Glacial Lands KO into the Miraidon, which Incineroar did Terra immediately, so I am in a perfectly fine position to click feint Glacial to seal up the win here. Battle gonna be forfeit. I'm assuming it was one of Assault Vest and Choice Specs. It wouldn't be able to protect. Great position. So I'm glad I went for the Shadow Claw. I almost agreed a final Gambit. That would have been a huge mistake. Annihilate just being able to live Moongeist Beam, because let me just say, Annihilate is kind of just an insane Pokemon. The fact that it's just really able to take attacks like that is crazy. But yes, we were able to live a Moongeist Beam. Shadow Claw, I didn't think I needed a Terra Normal, but yes, I was put in a perfect spot to get in Riolu next to Cali Ice. They started to trigger for me, so all I had to do was just sweep from there. Whimsicott, NDD female, we have our Chaladon, Blood Moon Ursaluna, the Kyogre, and Zamazenta. Scary team for sure. Annihilate is good with Final Gambit, but the problem is they do have some pretty big threats. They don't have any terrain control, so it's a lot harder to use Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt would be so nice otherwise. I kind of want to do Cali Ice plus Clefairy. And I don't know if Raging Bolt's the right answer, because Raging Bolt would be nice, but the problem with Raging Bolt is it gets walled by NDD coming in and bringing the Psychic terrain. I do have Thunderbolt, but like, I don't know if that's worth, because they have our Chaladon, Blood Moon, and Zamazenta. And I don't think I'm getting a Thunderbolt off in the Kyogre. They just redirect with NDD. I think my best play is just to lead Kali Ice plus Clefairy. And then in the back, right on Riolu, because we're bringing Riolu to every game. I wish I could bring Annihilate, but the Tailwind mode plus the Follow Me redirection is a little bit annoying. And I feel like Bolt is decent in this matchup, and I could probably try to figure out a way. Like I could go Bolt Clef, but Bolt Clef is very passive, gives our Chaladon the chance to set up either the stamina boost from me going for Snarl and the trade of the shooting down the electro shot. I just think it's probably, oh, this is a very good lead. This is a very good lead. Okay, very nice lead. Gonna go for Glacial Lance, and I'm gonna go for Protect with my Clefairy turn 1 or Helping Hand. I think I would Protect his turn because I do not want to play around Endeavor Whimsicott. So I'm gonna go for Glacial Protect here because this could be two options, which is Fake Tears from Whimsicott as well as like Endeavor Whimsicott with Sash. If it's Sash, I want to make sure I have redirection so I can go for a Glacial, Follow Me Glacial the next turn. They go for a Terra with the Blood Moon. Terra normal, Hyper Voice, or Blood Moon is fine. They probably go for Fake Tears here, realistically, I'd imagine, plus Hyper Voice, but we'll see. Gonna Protect. I have Clear Amulet on the Kali Ice, so I can't get Fake Tears on that slot. Wow, that's just a Moonblast, okay. And Hyper Voice. I'm faster than the Blood Moon, which is interesting, okay. Huge damage. Hyper Voice. Oh, they Blood Moon to Clef. Okay. Interesting. So I have two options. I either Helping Hand Glacial or I go for Follow Me plus Glacial. Both make sense here. I only really want the Kali Ice for the lead. So I'm actually okay with going for Helping Hand Glacial here, I think. Yeah. And if they want to outspeed, they have to go for Tailwind. But if I prevent Tailwind from going up, that's pretty nice. Yeah, it is Endeavor, like I thought. But I was faster than their Blood Moon because it was slow. So I'm going to be able to get the Glacial Lance off into the Blood Moon and I KO it before them. So now, goodbye Whimsicott, massive. Plus, goodbye their Blood Moon or Ursaluna. That was their Terra. And now I'm looking really nice with Koraidon next to Clefairy. Because I just got a sack. Or do I sack both? I could sack both to bring in Koraidon so I could go for coaching close combat. It is tempting. Kyogre in. Zamazenta. Yep. Just don't be Iron Defense Zamazenta and we are in very good shape. Also, who's my Terra going to be? Because it's not going to be Koraidon. It's not going to be Clefairy either. I don't think I Terra any of these mons. Maybe Terra Riolu because I could see Terra Riolu mattering actually. We're going to go for a high horsepower, I guess, into that. And we're going to protect our Clef. Because I valued Clef more than Kali Ice. Let's see if it's Scarf Kyogre. It's not Scarf Kyogre. Okay, good to know. Water Spout. Yep, that's fine. So we have Choice Band, Koraidon, with Friend Guard. I think we're good here to click Close Combat into the Kyogre slot. Because we should blow up the Kyogre. We don't need Helping Hands. Body Pressure and KO through Friend Guard. So I think I Encore the Zamazenta. And no Protect, so I get a Close Combat off. I crit, but like this is Choice Band Koraidon. I just don't think that knocks out any. I don't think they were going to knock out anyway. I guess Body Press crit. I don't know if that knocks out Koraidon though. I guess we'll see. They do Body Press. Ooh, it would have. But I did have a backup plan in case they did, which was because of this Encore, I go Riolu, I go for Terra Ghost, and then I hope I get Close Combats enough to finish off the Zamazenta. But yeah, we're max speed. We can go for Helping Hand plus the Close Combat, and we'll seal up the game. I'm gonna be forfeited, but I was Choice Band Koraidon, so I had enough, and Riolu in the back was set up for a nice coaching position or close combat Terra Ghost position if I absolutely needed it. So felt like I positioned myself pretty well, especially because the lead ended up working really well. I'm surprised the Blood Moon was that slow, but because the Blood Moon was slow, I could just afford to go for like Help Hand Glacial that turn. There wasn't really much risk to it. Kept the Clefairy healthy, which I guess didn't even matter because I was still going to be able to, like, I closed combat anyway, so it didn't matter too much. But at the end of the day, I think I set up for a great double knockout and then cleaned up precisely with my Koraidon. That was just really difficult for my opponent to stop in the end. Miraidon, Lunala, Incineroar, Rillaboom, Whimsicott, and Urshifu. I actually know, well, I know I've seen the 6. It's done well in the global challenges. I'm pretty sure that this is Calm Mind Lunala, which means it shouldn't be Wide Guard on this team, which makes my Kali Ice life easier. Yet I don't really like dealing with this Lunala. Well, I mean, Lunala is still always going to be a problematic Pokemon for me to deal with, but I think that this is acceptable for the most case. I gotta figure out how I deal with this Miraidon lead though. I don't know if they lead Miraidon. It could be just they try to do Insane, Rillaboom, Lunala, or they try something else. I feel like the play is just to lead. I want to lead Kali. Do I want to lead Kali Ice plus Riolu immediately? I could. I think I will lead Riolu plus Kali Ice. And then in the back, I want Koraidon because it can blow up a lot of things on their team. Do I want Annihilate or do I want Clef in back? I think I want Clef in back. Because Friend Guard is just such a good ability and can help me out here immensely. So let's see what my opponent's going to decide to do here. I could have let Kali. I think I could have let Kali as Clef too. But we'll see. Gonna be Lunala and Incineroar. Okay, yeah, that's basically what I expect. Versus my Riolu and my Kali Ice. Okay. I am planning to go for Terra Fairy, but a bit tricky here. I think I would probably just I should have let Clefairy so I can Encore threaten the Lunala. I could Quick Guard and Glacial. I don't know if that's worth it though. I think my best play is just to set up a coaching immediately and just go for a Glacial Lance. They're just gonna fake out anyway and probably Calm Mind. Yep, fake out. I do take a little bit of damage, but I don't think it matters too much because I think I would rather want to potentially protect the Kali Ice the next turn to get Clef in. Yeah, they do Calm Mind. Okay. All right, good to know. Good to know. I mean, position-wise, this is not like awful, realistically. I'm gonna go out into Clefairy, I think. My Kali Ice isn't fast. I could trick through. Just debating on if it's worth risking Willisp here. I think we go Clef, and I think we just protect the Kali. Even if they get another Calm Mind up, it's fine because I get a Glacial Lance the next turn and I'll do a lot of damage to where Shadow Shield won't recover for a couple of turns. I don't think they brought Rillaboom. Do I think they brought Rilla? I think it'd be pretty rough to bring Rilla, but we'll see. Bring out the Protect from the Kali Ice to prevent a Wisp. A Moongeist Beam that slot. The annoying part is that Moongeist Beam ignores Friend Guard, so they didn't exactly have a safe slots. Yeah, they did go for Wisp. Moongeist Beam, perfect. Really good. Now I can go for a Follow Me plus a... Do I want a high horsepower or do I want to just Glacial? I think I'm okay with just going for a high horsepower immediately. If high horsepower KOs, then that would be great. But I couldn't say with confidence if it would. I think it's probably just better to Glacial and break that Shadow Shield. Yeah. Because I can force a more annoying situation for my opponent the next turn, I'm pretty sure. We go for follow me. This should probably be just Moongeist Beam and parting. Or maybe knock off. Either one's fine. I thought they were going to call my knockoff again. Moongeist Beam does a lot. Oh, they have Flare Blitz. Okay. Oh, that means that High Horsepower probably did get the KO, which stinks for me, but that's all right. Because I get pretty big damage onto the Lunala with this Glacial. Yeah, like that's pretty big damage to Lunala. It won't be able to get Shadow Shield back, which means I'm threatening it for some really heavy damage. Now I can go Koraidon, and I threaten a lot here. Trying to think about what the best play is, because I got to be a little bit careful. I want to just click Flare Blitz and Glacial, because even if they Wisp, it's all right, I think. Yeah, I'm going to Glacial Flare Blitz. They protect Lunala. I'm okay with them protecting Lunala. I'm kind of surprised they didn't protect the Incin, but the reason I'm going for these plays that I'm making is because Incin can't stop my Koraidon and Kali Ice from threatening the field right now. They do go for a Willow, but unless the Lunala's carrying Terra Water on this team, Flare Blitz will destroy this Lunala, and a lot of the Call My Lunalas run Terra Fairy. So I can just go for a Flare Blitz the next turn into the Lunala, and I can go for a Glacial again, I think. Or unless I want a higher horsepower. But I think I would rather click Glacial. Actually, no, I would high horsepower. Yeah, I'm going to click Flare Blitz. What am I doing with Terra-wise? I guess I don't need the Terra on my Kali Ice. I'm going to Flare Blitz the Lunala and just high horsepower to Incin. They stay in, which is perfect, so I should get the KO into the Lunala, and the high horsepower will KO the Incin. The end game is looking a little bit scary, but I think I could probably beat them. Well, it depends on how fast the Miraidon is and a couple of other factors. A Flare Blitz should KO this Lunala. I think I should Trick Room, actually. I think Trick Room was better. I KO'd the Lunala. Crit doesn't matter. I probably didn't need to tear the KO, but just in case they whisk the Koraidon slot. Because I'd rather have Koraidon not burn, because I need a way to make sure I break through the... Alright, they go for a parting shot. So who are they switching out into? And I regret not clicking Glacial now. I thought they might attempt to whisk my Koraidon, which unfortunately did not happen. So who are they bringing out? Oh, it's Ursh. Okay, this isn't too bad. I get a high horsepower off for some pretty decent damage. Yeah, not bad. Although I think I'm checkmated though, because I'm pretty sure Miraidon's coming in. I'm getting swept in this end game. I needed to Trick Room there. I did need to Trick Room. Yep, Miraidon's coming in. Is there anything I could do to stop the situation? Unless Choice Band Terrifier Flare Blitz KOs Miraidon, but I doubt it. I think I just go Riolu and I go for a Glacial here. Yeah. I go for a Glacial because I need the damage anyway, and if I have a chance to live with Kali Ice, it's probably like the best time is when it hasn't taken as much burn damage if I protect stall anyway. The Electro Drift. It's not Scarfursh? Alright. That's okay, Choice Banders. Okay, that's okay. Oh, then I did have an out, actually. I did have an out. I guess I probably should have thought about this. Like, I thought they went into Ursh because I thought they were Choice Scarf. But no, that made sense. I think Terrifier Flare Blitz could have KO'd Ursh. Maybe it's -1. I think it depends on how bulky the Ursh is. If I go for Terrifier, Flare Blitz, and Ursh and I KO it, and I protect my Rhydon, then I could swap to Riolu. I don't know if I'd win the end game though, because the Koraidon's my only. Oh, actually, could Riolu beat instant in the end game? Maybe. I think it depends on like what they went for attack wise, because like what I would say they probably went for. Well, I'm just gonna go for a close. I'm gonna go for Outrage here. Because why not? So like here's how I think the end game would have gone if I switched out Koraidon protected. If I switch out the Koraidon, or not switch out Koraidon, if I Flare Blitz and I KO the Ursh, let's say Flare Blitz KOs the Urshifu, the Electro Drift goes into my protect on my Kali Ice, and then I could swap out my Koraidon into Riolu, attack with Glacial. They have to target down the Kali Ice with the Miraidon with Electro Drift, or I get a big powerful Glacial off, and then they guarantee lose that way. And then instant just goes for Flare Blitz or knockoff. I think it depends on the instant item, because we didn't confirm if it was Rocky Helmet, and also could I have done something else. Like the reason I didn't trick him was I was scared that they potentially had like Encore Whimsicott back, and I was really annoyed about the potential possibility of them going for a Encore on my Trick Room, and then I wouldn't be able to redirect it. But I guess if I worried about that, I would have switched down to Riolu protected anyway, and then I could quick guard the Encore, so that wasn't awful. But then again, I wouldn't have gotten to KO Lunala and threaten it. But I think I should have Trick Roomed that one turn. I think I should have absolutely Trick Roomed instead of Glacial that one turn, or High Horsepowered the Urshifu that came in. Zamazenta, Miraidon, Grimmsnarl, Volcarona, Sinistra, and Iron Hands. Okay. Ooh, gonna be a bit of a tough one. I could go for Final Gambit Trade, which would be nice. Screen's a little bit annoying, depending on what the Grimmsnarl set is. Trying to figure out the good lead here. I don't think it's Riolu. I think it's probably Kali Ice Clef, because I always have to worry, unfortunately, about like Miraidon dishing out a ton of damage. I think I'll bring Kali Ice Clef lead, bring Riolu in the back with Koraidon, because we are trying to sweep the game with either Kali Ice or just do a lot of damage with Kali Ice early on to set up for my Koraidon to clean up. Now Volcarona is going to be tough. The Zamazenta will be tough. I mean, there's a lot of different options they have here. I think the only Pokemon we're guaranteed not to see here is Sinistra, because I don't think Sinistra is good against my team at all, unless they want a Pokemon to absorb Final Gambit and they bring the Ghost typing, but I just think it's really unlikely here. I think they always bring like 4 out of the first 5 slots, though. I think Zamazenta probably comes. I think Miraidon is always a shoe-in. I think Grimmsnarl is safe, but I think Volcarona, Iron Hands also just make a lot of sense here. I think Volcarona is pretty threatening, but they might decide not to lead or bring Volcarona. We're gonna see Grimmsnarl Miraidon, which is basically what I anticipate. Yep. Versus Kali Ice plus the Clefairy. Okay. So they can't KO Kali. They can't KO in one shot. I don't think this is fake out Grim here. They're probably screens. I kind of just want to fire off a Helping Hand Glacial. Light Screen doesn't matter to me because I brought all physical attackers anyway. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for Helping Hand Glacial and get as much damage as possible, because if they Electro Drift for some reason, they get punished. They should Volt Switch here. Yeah, Reflect makes sense, and I think Volt Switch into Zama makes a ton of sense. And that's a fine trade for me. They Electro Drifted. This doesn't KO. Yeah, because Friend Guard. It also didn't look like it would have KO'd even without Friend Guard, and I do get the Helping Hand Glacial off. Goodbye Miraidon. That's a huge strike gone. That's one of their best offensive bonds against my Koraidon, just eliminated. Okay, we take that. We absolutely take that. Okay. Very nice start. Very nice start to the game. Let's see who they're bringing out. If it's Volcarona, I'm clicking Encore into it. If it's Zamazenta, I think I just click Follow Me Glacial. I don't see a problem with Follow Me Glacial. Yeah, I think I just click Follow Me Glacial. Because if they wide guard, so be it. They can't really do anything here with the Grim into my Clefairy. I would like to just take the knockout, and Grim don't have to deal with Thunder Wave against my Koraidon, which is the big deal. And then I could set up the coaching. I think my Koraidon can just close Comet Sweep them. We'll see. Go for the Follow Me. As a Heavy Slam makes sense. Clefairy is able to tank it. Foul play, nice. So Clefairy doesn't go down this turn, which is both a positive and negative depending on who is the last Pokemon here. We do take the knockout to Grim, which is great. And now, who is the last Pokemon? Because that is going to be a pretty big decider here. As now we are +2 Cali Ice. They actually brought Sinistra? I'm shocked that they brought Sinistra. Okay. They're always going to body press here. I'm trying to figure out if I could set this up for a very nice end game. There's no way they're Iron if they're Iron Defense, they should have set it up already. I want to scout if they're gonna click Wide Guard Matcha Gotcha, because I feel like that's a decently likely play here. So they brought Sinistra, which is crazy to me. All right, I guess they were scared of Final Gambit and wanted to switch. Yeah, they did Wide Guard. Okay, so this is Wide Guard plus Matcha Gotcha. That makes sense. Do I just Glacial again, or do I just High Horsepower? I mean, I always click Follow Me here. I guess I probably just High Horsepower. Yeah. Follow Me and get the damage into Zama, I guess, if they're not going to Terra. I mean, even if they go for attack, I mean, I don't think they Wide Guard this turn. I guess I could have Glacialed in just one, but I don't think this is too bad. They do go for the Body Press. All right. So Clef goes down, and we are going to see from the Sinistra Matcha Gotcha. Ideally, no burn. I would like to get more damage into Zama if possible. Nice. Big High Horsepower. That didn't do as much as I was hoping for. That was +2, right? Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate there, but I mean, Koraidon can come in and threaten a lot of damage. Yeah, I mean, I just like Koraidon in, I think. Because Koraidon's threatening a lot. I mean, this is a bit of an interesting one because I don't know what the Sinistra item is. They also still have Terra available. I could Outrage. Outrage could be fun here. Because if I expect Rage Powder, Outrage is the best call. But that could backfire immensely. I could close combat if I read the Sinistra. Actually, I think the best play is to U-turn. Probably to U-turn the Sinistra and protect the Cali Ice. Actually, no, it's the sack Cali Ice. I Glacial here. We do see who Terra, so this is pretty important. This is pretty important in my plan. We are going to see the Terra come out from the Sinistra, so I can lock into... Oh, I choice banded U-turn. I didn't... Well, Terra Dark makes sense. I was thinking it was more Terra Water, but this might help out a lot. I get the U-turn off in the Sinistra. A good amount of damage. Oh, who did they target? Did they body press? Oh, hold on. Did they body press plus... Matcha Gotcha? I think I should have Glacialed and didn't go for a High Horsepower as greedily as I did. Oh, they targeted Cali. Okay. I think we're fine. Okay, I think we're fine. Oh, they trick roomed. That was not in my expectation, but okay. I was wondering why the U-turn did so little. I was about to say, I'm pretty sure that I should have done more, but all right, we get to bring out our Koraidon. This is an interesting spot. Because I should be able to go for coaching. Oh, I have a few plays actually. I think, hold on. How fast is this Riolu? Oh, it's definitely faster than Sinistra. Do I think they're going to go for a... I think this is a big question. Do I think they're going to go for Matcha Gotcha, or do I think they're going to go for a Rage Powder? If I think they're going to Rage Powder, I always close combat with both Mons. If I think they're going to go for a attack, my best play is to coaching. I think we go for coaching close combat. It's kind of a read here, potentially. Man, if I just locked in close combat into the Zamazenta, I think that was the better play. But yeah, because if you attack with Sinistra, you're going to Terra, right? Or if you Rage Powder, you're going to Terra, right? So I think I should just close combat the Zamazenta slot because I probably knock out. I was just worried about like random like Terra Ghost potentially there. But we do get the coaching off into our Rhydon as Life Dew. Oh, this is so good for me. That's so good for me because they didn't even go for damage into my Riolu, which is important because I powered up my Koraidon's defense here to tank attack. They went for body press into Riolu. They expected to protect from my Koraidon in the coaching, but this is a choice band close combat in the sun +1 just blows up the Zamazenta, and now they just guarantee lose here. No way. I mean, like, the thing is, Life Dew, I don't know, I think the Life Dew is greedy. I think you just Matcha Gotcha body press if you're going to make that play. Now they just lost. They just lost now, yeah. Unless they have Shadow Ball and crit me. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what I do with Riolu. I just close combat. This is just Matcha Gotcha, I assume. Yeah. All right. They can't knock out Koraidon and I win. I think I should have close combat to Zamazenta. I was just worried. I mean, I don't think it was Terra Ghost Zamazenta on this team. I felt like that was really unlikely. The Sinistra I thought was going to be Terra Water, which is why I U-turned. I wanted to scout because I knew one of those Pokemon were going to Terra. I just didn't know which one was going to Terra. Because if the Sinistra, for instance, was a common one that's been popping up recently, it's like Focus Sash plus like Hospitality. I didn't know if it was guaranteed. I get the U-turn, I break the Focus Sash, and then like I get to scout for Terras and like what I could potentially lock into. I think like there were 2 turns I messed up, which was the Glacial Lance turn that, or the high horsepower turn that could have been the Glacial Lance turn, and the, I mean, it did kind of help out in the end game though, because then that actually made them go for a greedy Life Dew, or a specifically just go for close combat into the Zamazenta slot, because if they are going to Rage Powder, they're going to Rage Powder with the Sinistra and probably go for Terra. But you could sack Sinistra there. I don't know. Maybe it's not a guarantee, because you could try to sack Sinistra and just hope body press KOs the Koraidon, right? Because of all the recoil. Maybe it wasn't as guaranteed as I thought, actually. Terapagos, Calyx, Shadow Rider, Grimmsnarl, Volcarona, Iron Hands, and Amoonguss. Alright. This is I don't know what kind of team this is. Is this going to be Meteor Beam Terapagos with screens? Is this going to be Specs Terapagos? There's a lot of ways I can interpret this. This could be Calm Mind, but this could also just be Specs. I think it's probably more likely Specs Terapagos. Just because I think it makes more sense with the offense, because they don't really have much initial offense. I think lead wise, what do I want to go? I don't Terra this. Terapagos Shadow Rider is actually pretty tough to switch into. I could lead Ape. Okay, what would you lead here? Grimmsnarl Terapagos is probably the more annoying one. I think I'm just gonna lead the Calyx Ice Rider plus Clefairy. Koraidon back in Riolu. It's gonna be a tricky one. I kind of want to bring 8, but at the same time, I'm just gonna get so annoyed by Thunderwave Grimmsnarl. I know. I know that I don't think it's worth it. Koraidon is my way I'm breaking through Terapagos. It is actually Grimmsnarl plus the Terapagos, which is not surprising to me. Okay. So one of our goals is to break Terra Shell. If we can break Terra Shell, we'll be in a nice spot for Koraidon. I think this is probably fake out Grim. I have a very sneaking suspicion it is going to be the... I'm going to Encore the Grimmsnarl and protect the Kali Ice, because they always target the Kali Ice here with like Foul Play, Terra Starstorm probably. Yeah, they did fake out. Yep. They didn't Terra the the Terapagos. It is Meteor Beam. Okay, so it's not Specs, but I did get the same outcome where I protected my Kali Ice and didn't take damage, and I Encore locked the Grimmsnarl. If I Encore locked the Terapagos, that would have been huge, but not that big of a deal. Yeah, now the Grimmsnarl can't do anything super crazy to me, and I can go for Helping Hand Glacial this upcoming turn. So I will go for Glacial and Helping Hand, because they don't have a good switch in here. Yes, I'm going to go for Helping Hand Glacial. If Volcarona comes in, it takes a bunch of damage. If Amoonguss comes in to try and put things under sleep, I think this works out. Volcarona comes in. Okay, good to know. They stay normal mode. All right. Starstorm. Yep, into Clef, which is nice too. All right, not bad, not bad. Get a Glacial off. We break that Terra Shell. Do I want to sack here to get a free switch? I'm debating it. I am debating it. Who's faster, the Pagos or the Volk? That's what I really want to know. I think I want Trick Room up in this game. Okay, I think my play is to double protect here. And then scout for who's faster between Pagos and Volcarona. I want to say Shadow Rider's in back because I feel like there's no way it's Amoonguss now, because I feel like if it's I don't think it can be Amoonguss, right? Because if it's Amoonguss, that means they really relied on Terapagos to deal with Koraidon, which I think is really tough for them to have. All right, I want to see who's faster, Volcarona or Terapagos, because this is massive on how I want to play this next turn. Okay, that is faster. Good to know. Good to know. This Wisp. It is a Wisp. Okay, that's bad. Do I have a way out of this predicament right now? Because I've encored the Terapagos, but I didn't know it was Meteor Beam. If I knew it was Meteor Beam, I would encore it instead of the Grim. I think I just get damage here. I think I just get damage here. Starstorm gonna come out. This is gonna do a lot to my Kali Ice, and my Clef is going down, which means I want to Friend Guard for a next hit. Actually, that didn't really do that much to Kali Ice, but I guess Friend Guard is kind of a big deal. All right. Oh, wait, they went for Flamethrower? Oh, no. They could have went for Trick Room and probably been in a great dominant position to win. Oh, I could have just went for Trick Room, because if I went for Trick Room, I could have got Coaching, Protect stacks. Oh. Is the game over? No, we can win. I guess I have to hope it's not Shadowrite now, but even if it's not Shadowrite, I think I just guaranteed lose here. I don't have a spread move on this, unfortunately. I think I got a U-turn. Yeah, I got a Terrifier so I don't get burned. They're gonna Rage Powder, just Starstorm anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So we bring out our Terrifier so we don't get burned by this Volcarona, and we U-turn out to play it safe. Yep, they Rage Powder, makes sense. And I sack Kali Ice here because if I protect and I have Kali Ice plus Riolu with no trick, oh, I don't even care the Volcarona. Okay, it's over. It's over. It's over. I needed to Trick Room that one turn. If I Trick Roomed, I think I'm in a great spot because I could go for Coaching Protect into Coaching Glacial and then just sweep the board, which is so unfortunate. If I had just Encored the Terapagos in the Meteor Beam, it would have been so huge. And I mean so huge. But unfortunately, I gambled it on being Specs Terapagos, and it was not. It was Meteor Beam, which was worst case scenario because they got the special attack boost, and then they also got the options to switch up moves. Unfortunate. I'm trying to think of like, yeah, I mean, if I just Trick Room, I think I should just gambled on Wisp missing and going for Trick Room. And probably double protect Clefairy. No, I don't think I double protect Clefairy because I want the free switch to Riolu. So yeah, I needed to follow me Trick Room instead of going for the last ditch Helping Hand Glacial. Unfortunate. Koraidon, Lunala, Incineroar, Rillaboom, Ogerpon, Cornerstone, and the Fluttermane. Alright, so we have quite an interesting matchup right here. We have some pretty good balance course. I'm kind of curious on if this is Calm Mind Lunala, could be Meteor Beam on the Lunala on this build, I suppose, as well. All of them would be very respectable here. I don't like Annihilate lead as much into this team, mainly because they have probably Speed Booster Flutter, and that's a lead that could actually threaten me, so I don't think it's ever worth it here. I want to think about what I lead here. I could lead Raging Bolt. I do take a lot from Moonblast, though the Snarl and the Lunala is really tempting. Kali Ice plus Clefairy is also a pretty tempting lead here. Don't mind Kali Ice plus Clefairy. I think I will go Kali Ice Clefairy. I think it's pretty safe for the most part. We have Koraidon and Riolu back, I want to say. I mean, Bolt is tempting, but I don't think I need it. If I'm trying to sweep with the Coaching Kali Ice, I think protected from taking too much damage is going to be one of the first steps here. And we'll see what they decide to lead here. It's going to be the combination of Cornerstone, Ogerpon plus Lunala. So that makes sense, as I do lead my Clefairy and my Kali Ice. All right, so this isn't too bad of a lead. I should be able to go for a Glacial Lance pretty safely and click a Follow Me. I will be clicking Glacial Lance for the damage. I don't think they wide guard in this situation. The question is, do I want to lock in them to a move? I could go for Helping Hand, though Helping Hand doesn't really make much sense here because it's Sturdy Ogerpon and Shadow Shield. I could go for an Encore, but I don't think it's really helpful. I think I'm just going to go for Follow Me here. Ogerpon retreat, so Incineroar coming in? I think that's Incineroar. Yeah, that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. I want to break Shadow Shield on the Lunala if possible. I guess we'll find out if it's like Calm Mind on the Lunala or not, because that's a big question. Are you Calm Mind Lunala? It is Calm Mind. Okay, so I could have went for Trick Room and then get an Encore off, which would have been massive, but it shouldn't be Wide Guard Lunala, which is positive at least. Okay. So I do get a Glacial for some decent damage. Yep. Leftovers on the Lunala makes sense here. I think my next play is to always go for Trick Room and Encore to Lunala. Yes, I kind of wish I had Recovery on the Clep. At the same time, this is definitely a Trick Room angle and an Encore angle into the Lunala. And we go for Terra Fairy because we don't want to risk a Moongeist Beam coming out. So I think this is always a play because if they fake out the Clef, I do get the Trick Room up. If they go for something else, I get to Encore to Lunala, so at least it's stuck on the field, which is positive at the very least. Fake out going to come out on a Cali Ice. Cool. Nice. They Calm Mind again. Perfect. And because they Calm Mind again, I get a free Encore into the Lunala, which means they can't protect, so I can build up my Glacial Lance damage. So this is pretty nice. And they probably don't have the best switches right now to Glacial, because I don't think they brought Rillaboom back. So this is looking pretty good for me to just spam Glacial into that Lunala and do as much damage as I possibly can, while Incineroar can't really do much in this position. So we're going to go for Follow Me plus a Glacial Lance. And I don't think they have good switches either, because if they brought Koraidon, it's game blown up. If they brought Rillaboom, it's game blown up. So right now, looking like in a great spot. I want to make sure my Cali Ice isn't affected by a Will-O-Wisp or anything. So I will go for the Follow Me here. As Calm Mind going to come out. That's first turn of Encore, if I'm not mistaken. So I have a few turns to go for Glacials. They go for Parting Shot into the Clef. Kind of curious on who they go out into. Who are you going to go out into? I also have Koraidon on the back. That's also like in a really good spot. Once I get the damage into the Lunala, even if their Encore wears out, I think it's fine. Ogerpon, they're about to take a ton of damage. And then next turn, I can just go for a Helping Hand Glacial since I don't have to worry about the Cornerstone. So, Glacial, good damage. Good damage. Beautiful damage. Will Riolu even get to see the light of day in this battle? I have no clue. I don't see a reason not to just go for a Helping Hand Glacial though, because I don't have to worry about Cornerstone being able to knock me out, and then I'll be able to punish and KO the Lunala with this Glacial. They're going to swap back into Incineroar because they're hoping that they go for Follow Me Glacial again, so the Lunala is able to hang on and stall out through the Encore so the Lunala can actually do damage. But I guess if you Terra Water, then it makes sense. No, they don't have Terra Water. Okay, beautiful. I should be able to get the KO onto the Lunala just fine here with the Helping Hand, because yeah, you get the Calm Minds, but I'm pretty sure Helping Hand Glacial, based on the previous damage, should take that knockout. Yep. Goodbye Lunala. And that was their ace that they were setting up. It's why Encore is so good on Clefairy sometimes, because it can really punish any setups that you want to do, while the Clefairy doesn't really put on much damage output pressure. Fluttermane coming in, and yeah, I mean, they really relied on all the Lunala. They really relied it all on Lunala. We just go for a double Protections, then we go for a Follow Me plus a Glacial Lance, and then yeah, battle's over. Clefairy, I love Clefairy, one of my favorite Pokemon, and I did use Encore at my first regional regional win with Clefairy, and Encore was just so good. I mean, so good. So I'm really glad that it was able to put in a ton of work here. All right, let's go over to games. In game one, double Ghost matchup, but the Terra Normal Annihilate was able to do some good damage across the board and tank attacks thanks to the coaching boost. I still had to get a few tricky turns correct towards the end right, but was able to get the calls correctly. In game two, not how I expected the battle to start, but was able to get rid of the Lunala early, and after a big coaching boost and a quick guard from the Riolu to block the fake out, I was able to sweep the opponent in their own trick room. In game three, a lead I was able to have a strong start in and break through with ease, allowing for Choice Band Koraidon to tear up my opponent's remaining restricteds in the sun. In game 4, I think I should have led Clefairy to Encore to call my Lunala, since it was a bit trickier to deal with. High horsepowering the Incin for a knockout after Flare Blitz recall would have also been really nice. I should have thought about it being the Choice banned Urshifu more than Scarf, and probably should have risked going for Flare Blitz, since depending on if it was a bulky Ursh, a -1 Flare Blitz might have been able to pick up the knockout into the Urshifu while protecting my Calyx Ice Rider on the Electro Drift, so I could reset my Koraidon by switching out. That would have given me the best odds instead of hoping that the Miraidon was in choice specs. In game 5, a big Miraidon knockout at the start was great, but 2 turns that could have helped were to Glacial Lance the second time around through the wide guard on the Zamazenta to knock out the Sinistcha, or a close combat to Zamazenta slot instead of U-turn. But I think this turn is still tricky regardless, because it would have been a weird spot if they went for the Rage Powder without Terra on Sinistcha, or have Terra Ghost on the Zamazenta. So I don't think there was one option that could cover all scenarios, so it was mainly just get the reads right there. In game 6, caught the fake out Grimmsnarl, but if I had known it was Meteor Beam Terapagos, I would have preferred targeting it with the Encore instead. I should have hoped for a Willis Miss, or that they would use a fire move and Calyx Ice Rider would be able to survive and go for the Trick Room, since I think I could have had a great spot under Trick Room Calyx with some coaching boost with the free switch to Riolu that I had gotten. In game 7, this time I encored the Call My Lunala that got greedy, and the Glacial Lance added up, eliminating their centerpiece, and the supporting cast couldn't do anything afterward. So Riolu, really cool Pokemon. I think coaching is really awesome. We've used Riolu on the channel before with Follow Me, but that was back when it got Follow Me in previous generations, but it was a really fun mon then. It doesn't have access to it unfortunately, but I think the toolset is still really good. The coaching, feint, quick guard are all very valuable tools in the format, and it was able to support the Calyx extremely well. And Choice Band Koraidon, let me just say, is really strong. If you'd like to check out the details of the team, they'll be in the description down below alongside Shoma's video with the team, and you could try out the team as long as it's still available with the rental code on your screen. Hopefully it's still available by the time this video comes out. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.